I live like I spit it. Raised by the wolves, so my mentality is get it. A life on the street takes commitment. The power that you gain gets addictive. The money being made gets you bitches. A real ninja played the game like it's business. A weak ninja facing time go to snitching. Plotting on his whole team because he ain't want to listen. If it was all good just a week ago, take your motherfucking charge. That's your key and dope. We all want to eat, gotta feed folks. Taking oath on the streets called the G code. That's what we live by, die for it. I got homies standing firm, doing time for it. If y'all don't know what y'all know about that Scarface, okay, H-Town, 5th Ward. I think that's right, 5th Ward. Y'all help me, I'm not all that. But I love me some Scarface. If you don't know that song, that's from the album Deeply Rooted, and the song is called Fuck You. If you ever want to get a good workout or work out your frustrations on the heavy bag, just put that in and just go. And then what you want to do is follow that up with the Tupac Machiavelli. Against all odds. Hoping my true motherfuckers know this be the realest shit I ever wrote. Up in the studio getting blowed to the true shit. Okay, let me stop, y'all. What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva, and I am here once again to do another review of Power! Season 4, Episode 5. Don't thank me, although I should have been caught. Gone and testify. Free your mind, because the rest will follow, baby. It was all kind of confessions and people not wanting to be given gratitude for what they've been given, and they don't want to be thanked for what they've given somebody, okay? Things aren't looking good for James St. Patrick. You know, the thrill is gone. He done lost his attorney, Proctor. I'm upset about that. But remember last week, Angela got paid a visit by Proctor, and in this episode, she returns the favor. And that favor leads to the exculpation of James St. Patrick. He's free, y'all. But I'm giving away too much, probably. But if you've watched the episode, you already know that. So let's talk about it, shall we? Once again, my question is, how the hell is Kanan still walking around? How is he walking around free? That's what I really want. Inquiring minds want to know. Well, we find out he ain't so free after all. He's slipping on his pimping. We know that in that little setup club that Dre done set up since he trying to be the man. Bitch, I'm the man. Ho, I'm the man. I'm so nasty. I do listen to a lot of hardcore rap sometimes. I do. I really do. Especially a woman of my age. At 25, why am I listening? But because Dre is really getting into Tommy's head and trying to pull Tommy over to his side. Like, oh, since we're shut down, since the feds have shut us down, we're going to open up this temp club again. We need to start running with backpack runners now again. Because remember when Power first opened up, that's how Tommy and Ghost were running business. Ghost was trying to be legit, and they were running money through corn-op laundromats as two business partners, right? We see Simon Stearns returning to gloat in front of James St. Patrick's face because he's like, oh, such a shame what happened to you and your family. And Ghost is not trying to hear it. He's like, fuck you. Hey, I've been running shit so long. My MO's like, fuck you. So Simon Stearns just keep on. Walked on, you can just go. So in this episode, we got little Angela and her sister's supposed to be working. This shit was funny as hell. I'm like, see, that would be me. Girl, why you running so hard? I wouldn't have been smoking. I would have been eating a sausage roll or a donut from Dunkin' Donuts or something. Or what's that? What's her place in Downey Portos? Yeah. And she's running like she running for her life, girl. Like she trying to get away. And her sister notices this. Now, Pa's don't like Ghost at all because first of all, you done messed with my sister's heart. You done broke it. But Angela, right is right and wrong is wrong. Thank God for having a sister that despite having ill will toward or having ill feelings towards someone, she still encourages her little sister to do the right thing. And doing the right thing is what got our beloved James St. Patrick, aka Ghost, free. But will he ever be free? Because in this episode, what we end up seeing is that Simon Stearns not only pays James a visit in prison, he pays his wife a visit in court. I mean, he is like straight stalking, like, you just gonna be up here stalking this man? I mean, I know you took a loss, but really, because he offers Tasha the money. And Tasha's stuck between a rock and a hard place because her kids' tuition needs to be paid. Her and Tommy can't be running drugs to the weave shop right now. So what are they going to do? And of course, when you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, many of us will do things that we otherwise would not do if our mind wasn't so in the survival mode or fight or flight. And so she chose to just go ahead and take the money and run. And we see that at the end. She calls Simon Stern. It's implied, but Tasha, that's not a good look. As much as I hate this word, I have to say it. So Proctor has been removed. As you know, he pays James a visit, and James is like, why aren't we in the attorney room? And of course, he learned last week that, shit, you ain't my lawyer no more. It's just him and Terry Silver. And I don't like the dude either, but like he said to James, I'm the nigga between you and the needle. Okay. So I was like, get into it. Angela is still trying to fight against this wave of the boys club. We know that Mike Sandoval is as dirty as they come, honey, like a dirty Q-tip coming about somebody's ear. Hello? Cleaning all up in the cracks and crevices that ain't been cleaned in a few weeks or so. But of course, we know that he's automatically going to say that shit isn't relevant that you're talking about, so why don't you shut the hell up? And we're just going to bury that. And then Sax, he is the white boy you love to hate. He had me laughing because he reminds me of the boss from Blackish. He's always being Mr. Inappropriate, but it's cute and funny at the same time. But then you're like, wait a minute. You do know we black, right? Okay. But Sax has found this 7-figure check that Tommy wrote to James for when James was trying to get those clubs off the ground, and James was like, it was for security for the clubs with Milan, and Milan is dead, and so they got that deposit back. It was a loan. But to the prosecution, it still shows collusion. And, Rico could be coming at any moment. But we know after seeing this episode, that is not going to happen. Furthermore, I'm like, why don't y'all just do some inquiries and find out where the money went? Y'all's forensic accountants aren't that good to where they can't trace where the money goes. You just going to jump to conclusions. But, of course, as we all know, that practice of law is a game of cat and mouse, a game of cloaks and daggers, a game of chess, not checkers. So they basically are saying that Tommy and Ghost were probably still doing business together, even though they said that it wasn't. But my thing is, and I'm sure other people in the audience was like, hello, it could have been a final payoff as a severance from their business. You don't know what it was for, but because anything that you're doing is speculative at this point. Like, what are you talking about? Silver is also, in addition to prepping James, he's also pressing Tasha. I don't like how he's up on Tasha this episode. I don't like how it seems like he's licking his lips and chops like the big bad wolf and she Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, if you need anything, baby, just call me. I'm Terry Silver. I can hook you up, girl. Anything you need. I mean, I know y'all need some money. Might want to get a little float or something. If you need advice or anything. I'm like, hell, are you a divorce attorney too? Could you think Tasha needed to divorce him? But he does try to prepare her for the trial, and he tells her she might have to testify, which we all know if Tasha gets on trial, that breaks spousal privilege, and that gives the prosecution opportunity to get up and inquire to her about what's going on, because as we learn as we go along in these episodes, and we've always known that Tasha was the accountant. I think she took some accounting classes in a community college, but either way, she keeps the books, and the books are pretty much clean. Tommy, you gotta stop running up on folks, stabbing folk, and trying to beat ass first and then ask questions later. Poe Proctor, I feel so bad for him. Tommy's like, what is up? Why aren't you the attorney? What you trying to do? Don't forget I got that stuff on you. Proctor at that point probably was like, shit, I need to get another profession. These criminals are out of control over here. So Proctor is still Tommy's lawyer, but Tommy tells him everything, like everyone knows. Everyone has their hand in our criminal enterprise. And it is true what Tommy said. It was on a need-to-know basis. Your attorney doesn't need to know everything. He just needs to know the basics to protect you, because you can't be implicating other people if you don't want them to be brought down. Because Not always, but sometimes some attorneys do have to disclose certain things in order to protect our interests and protect our bar licensing. I say ours because I'm speaking my stuff into existence. I am not licensed, but I will be soon, I'm sure, if I ever decide to take the bar exam again. Because once again, as I said before, taking the bar exam sucks. But it is a means to an end for me because I need to be representing somebody. Best time of my life was working at the public defender's office. Okay, it wasn't the best time because working for Variety was really my best time. But as far as like doing good work and feeling like I was making a difference in people's lives, it was the public defender's office. I kind of would like to see what it's like on the prosecution side. But I really enjoyed my time at the public defender's office. In this episode, it should also be called Proctor Gets No Peace. Angela comes, Proctor trying to have lunch with his daughter because she's surprised that her daddy just chilling with her in the middle of the day. Like, dude, we having breakfast, we having brunch, you ain't got no job. Like, what happened, daddy? Are you unemployed? We gonna be homeless. But either way, he was like, if you don't get the hell away from me, I'm trying to have lunch. She's like, please, please, please. Because, Mike done told her, get the fuck out of here with that. Don't nobody want to talk about you in this traffic stops. You done fucked up with the traffic stop. We don't want to hear about the fact that James St. Patrick videos the surface with him never going to where I planted the gun. So she tells him what she knows. And he says, of course, they're not going to say anything. It'll basically make them look bad. He advises her that if she truly wants to make things right, so talk to Silver about setting up an appointment with Ghost to discuss her findings and see what they can do. There's going to be a meeting with James and Silver and Angela. She learns why James went to Greg's apartment that night. One of the things was the revelation that he knew she had been in an apartment. He overheard their conversation, but she's like, what does that really have to do with anything? What's love got to do with it? We know that James had already told them that phone wasn't there because I was looking for that actually when I came in. It seems to me that James St. Patrick has a photographic memory and Angela doesn't trust it. And Angela's kind of dragging it along, and that's when Terry asks the 7-figure question, so to speak. What you gonna do for me and my client? And that's when she divulges, which is totally wrong, the fact that the prosecution is holding on to a 7-figure check that will show collusion and RICO and all that stuff. And Proctor even explained that to Tommy at one point, that y'all probably about all go down. Who's the spoke in this RICO wheel? James explains all it was a loan for me to pay the security firm. He learns that Terry has been talking to Tasha about testifying. Does she really have to? Court day arrives and the entire St. Patrick family is there, minus the one little one that we often refer to as the ghost is there. She's so cute. And they all dressed up. I said, go on, Tasha, Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black with silver buttons all down her back. Oh my God. Either way, they look good. Okay, so court day has arrived for James St. Patrick. He will now have his day in court. And we hope it's going to be a good day. Tasha, before court, she's talking to Terry Silva and says she has something to say, but doesn't get to articulate it. Then we have a plot twist. James takes the stand in his own defense. Who would have thought? Because that opens him up to a certain line of questioning that Terry Silva warned him about, just like he warned him when the black FBI agent got on the stand. What was his name? God, I can't remember his name. We already talked about him in an earlier video. He takes the stand. Mike starts to make up some story about where the money came from, or as I like to call him, Sneaky Mike thinks he's got James, he's got him. He tried to make up, so basically Mike made up a story trying to say that James killed Greg, basically out of jealousy. I think, and also to protect Tommy in some respects. And he also tried to get the court to lean a certain way when he referred to Greg Knox as Greg. But I'm like, why wouldn't he refer to him as Greg? It's not about familiarity. It's about the fact that that's what the man's name is, and that's who he's being prosecuted for, and that's who y'all trying to get him to go to the death chamber for. So why would he not mention Greg? You big dummy. Needless to say, Angry Black Man came out just as Terry Silver had tried to coach Ghost against it. James got mad at the attorney because he felt like he wasn't doing his job and he wasn't protecting him and that he didn't object enough. I guess Terry could have stood up and said objection, badgering the witness. So this whole day in court turned out to be really bad. I'm sure he was embarrassed in front of his family. His wife and children are there. So he goes to blow off some steam. Well, guess who comes in there? Cruddy U.S. Marshal, who's supposed to be getting moved, which we found out he is getting moved. James is trying to work out his frustrations, but the cruddy marshal just won't leave him alone. Charlie Murphy's character is telling him it'd be a shame if someone got with that pretty wife and your kids get a new daddy. And then next thing you know, James snaps. Next thing you knew, he has literally beat the U.S. Marshal to death with a weight. I mean, Ghost this time went straight savage. And we all know that James St. Patrick is like Cool Hand Luke. He's always so calm, cool, and collective. Tommy, that's the loose cannon that we don't know when he's going to turn straight savage. Ooh, what do? Well, next thing you know, Teresi shows up. So now he's got Ghost by the balls. It's like, oh, well, look at here. You done murdered the marshal. Needless to say, the other little black dude that came in there, Butter Biscuits, came in there and he became a casualty. So now him and Ghost have an implication together. Teresi's whole point is just to make sure that Tommy Egan and him stay in contact. So now it's like a blood in, blood out. They're both implicated. Ghost is like, I'm not thanking you for this shit, but, thank you in some respect. Because they used the Butter Biscuits as a sacrifice. Teresi strangled him literally to death. And now they put him in a position of being the one who murdered the marshal. And like I told y'all, remember the marshal told him, those cameras don't work in the fitness room, so no one will be the wiser about who really killed him. As long as Ghost keeps his end of the bargain to Teresi, things will be just fine. Well, here is the moment of when I said that this episode probably should have been gone and testify, okay? Angela is taking a stand, and that's when she spills everything. She talks about how there was a 24-hour delay with the fingerprints. She talks about how there were certain things that she had pointed out that the defense counsel, that the prosecution did not want to use. She was shut down on every corner. Mox, the agent guy, tried to use her personal life to really paint her as having some sort of vendetta against them, but it doesn't work. When Tapper finds out all of this, he dismisses the case against Mr. James St. Patrick, but not with prejudice. See, in the criminal courts and even in civil courts, if it's dismissed with prejudice, that means you can't bring it again. But if it's without prejudice, well, you can bring it anytime. I seriously doubt that the attorneys will try to do it again, but you never know. As you know, I am behind on these episodes, but as we progress, we see that Mox is still trying to do some investigation and that type of thing. But Judge Tapper ain't here for it. He's like, it's just willful misconduct, bad faith. When Angela gets off the stand, they're mad at her. James is relieved. And he was like, thank you. And she was like, don't thank me. I was like, girl, right now your panties wet thinking about James St. Patrick and how he was stroking. Jamie, oh, Jamie. So Terry done saved the family. He's no angel. Meanwhile, Tommy now has to go to Chicago. What I found interesting about this whole Chicago thing and the meetup is the fact that he is going to take a different car, of course, and he's going to leave his cell phone. He wants no communication. And I'm just like, why would you do that? That's not even safe. Do you know the type of grimy guys that you have to deal with? And I'm thinking to myself that Tommy probably feels like, well, if they kill me, it's all good because I deserve it, because my girl and my baby are deceased. In some respects, I think that's why he did what he did. Dre and Kanan, he's trying to pay him off to stay away from Tariq, but it's too late because Jukebox has snatched Tariq. Angela and Mike are doing a walk of shame. Sneaky Mike talking about, I bet you feel real good about yourself right now, don't you? all you did was just make us all look bad. And she said the truth always comes to light. And she said it in Spanish. And please forgive me, guys. I haven't had Spanish since college. La verdad siempre sale a la luz. A la luz. It always comes out. Terry and Tasha. So she just thanking him. And he telling her if she ever need anything, you know, he there for them. And he tells her that she needs to get a floater, and she calls Stearns. And we spoke about that earlier in this video. But one thing, when she did that, I was thinking, I said, so last week you were mad at Ghost for not telling you everything and talking about we're all in this together. But now you're going to go rogue and call Simon Stearns and get them tied up in that? Really? Tasha, I thought we were all in this together. In addition, in this particular episode, we see the dynamics of Keisha and Tommy and Tasha. So Keisha's all giddy about this new white dude she messing around with, but it don't take long for Mother Tasha to figure out, oh shit, you fucking Tommy. This is a red alert. We got to do something about it. I got to talk to Tommy about this. So she confronts him about it, because Keisha all talking about, oh, he was hitting it right and everything. And Tasha still isn't clear about Holly, but she finds out from Tommy when she confronts him about Keisha, that he was like, she ain't coming back. I mean, like, she ain't coming back, okay? And he explains to her that the reason why he killed Holly is because he thought that she had killed Ghost, because remember, Holly set up the Jamaicans to come and kill Ghost, and instead at that time Milan ended up saving his life. But Tommy didn't know that that was going to happen. Tasha, the godmother, she approves, and she's going to make him an offer he can't refuse. You gonna keep hitting Keisha. I said, Tasha always be setting up the men in her life on some foul stuff. Because remember, she told Ghost to keep fucking Angela, and it looked like it fucked up. So in some respects, I don't know why Tasha running around this season acting the way she did, because in some ways she set this stuff in motion. When Ghost was trying to get out of the game, she didn't want to get out of the game. She liked the lifestyle. He trying to be legit and still pay the rent, but she want to be out here having him banging and being a thug in the street. And that's why he ended up with a girl like Angela. And that's why everything is screwed up and dysfunctional right now. So she wants him to keep fucking Keisha, Tommy, so keep fucking Keisha. Keep giving her that good. Okay. Meanwhile, Julio is giving great good to the little Asian chick. And that's when he learned some things about Dre and the Dominican, which I always thought was kind of stupid of Dre to be doing business in front of old girl, because Julio brought the girl by the club with the intent of her spying, but obviously Dre doesn't care. Julio learns that there's going to be a temp spot set up by Dre, and that she's going to be working there since the club got shut down, you know. Tommy has a conversation with Tariq about the birds and the bees, and he learns that he's been deflowered, and Tommy tells him, no matter what, every time you strap up, okay? Some kind of way he implicated Dre as being there at this party, or taking him to this party. Tommy confronts Dre about this party where little Tariq lost his virginity, but he claims he just dropped him off at a friend's house. That's a good cover, but Tariq is in deeper than what he even knows. So in the next week, Tommy is being told by the organization that he can't work for Ghost anymore. Ghost is trying to reclaim his time with Tasha and says that he wants them to make a new start. And Julio shows his hand about being in the know about Kanan. I thought that was kind of dumb, and we'll see in the end why it was dumb. Poor Julio. Anywho, that's all I've got. That's all my time. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Don't thank me. I have been Miss Sophia the Diva, and you have been all that. And be sure to make your own magic.